What is demonetization and why was it done? Why demonetization will be revolutionary in India's fight against corruption. What happens to the demonetized notes? Are we Indians ready for cashless future? GS Paper 3, Indian Economy. What is demonetization of currency? Demonetization for us means that Reserve Bank of India has withdrawn the old Rs 500 and Rs 1000 notes as official mode of payment. According to Investopedia, demonetization is the act of stripping a currency unit of its status as legal tender. Why demonetization being done? To tackle black money in the economy. To lower the cash circulation in the country, which is directly related to corruption in our country. To eliminate fake currency and dodgy funds which have been used by terror groups to fund terrorism in India. Why demonetization will be revolutionary in India's fight against corruption. Many of us grew up despising politicians for feathering their own nests, compromising on issues of national importance and dragging their feet on bold decisions. Against this backdrop, the demonetization effort launched Tuesday night is a refreshing change. In rare instance, the government has taken an action that resonates well with the sentiment among common and law-abiding citizens. Currency held in cash being at an all-time high is due to non-compliance with the government's efforts. Over the period 2004-14, the circulation of notes of Rs 1000 and Rs 500 denominations increased at an annual rate of about 30% and 20% respectively. In contrast, during the same period, the amount in circulation of notes of Rs 100 denomination remained unchanged while those of Rs 50 declined. The presence of such factors in the voting population is unlikely to provide future governments the luxury of relaxing their efforts to fight corruption. Thus, Tuesday's action may be revolutionary in the annals of the country's fight against corruption. What happens to the demonetized notes? The Reserve Bank of India, RBI, is preparing to destroy truckloads of Rs 500 and Rs 1000 notes, which are no longer legal tender, but the withdrawn notes will not go to waste. They are shredded to the extent that they can no longer be reconstructed. Then it passes through a humidifier to convert into briquettes. They will be given away to contractors who mostly use them for landfilling. Globally, central banks destroy mutilated notes through various means. In the early 2000s, the banks started to recycle using a composting treatment, as used in the treatment of food waste, and used it as a soil improver for agriculture. The bank also offers larger amounts of shredded currency for use in artistic or commercial purposes. India heading towards cashless economy. A couple of days ago, Indian government rendered almost 86% of total cash in the country worthless. The demonetization of currency notes of Rs 500 and Rs 1000 with immediate effect was also an attempt to move the nation towards an economy that is somewhat cashless. Digital transactions are better in almost every way. They are more convenient and they help government check corruption or tax evasion. It is imperative and essential that India moves towards a cashless economy. Are we Indians ready for cashless future? Not exactly. The reasons why we are not ready for cashless economy are as follows. Majority still lacks a card. The magic in a cashless economy happens with a card, or rather cards. There are credit and debit cards. Around 60% of Indians still don't have a debit card, let alone a credit card. This makes cashless economy a pipe dream, at least for now. Poor internet. Good connectivity is important for a cashless economy. Sadly, the good connectivity, whether you see it before Jio's time or after the Jio dream, which remains a dream for now. No data privacy laws. One big problem with India's adoption is its lack of policy framework. And when it comes to policy, one glaring area that government is ignoring is the data protection and privacy laws. Sure, a lot of Indians prefer cash because that helps them avoid taxes. But many also do because of sentimental and trust reasons. People also fear that their transaction details will leak in public, or that if they do e-transactions, people may misuse the data that they are giving to companies. 4. Cybersecurity issues. This is another major issue that affects the digitization of monetary transactions in India. And again, the blame lies with the government policy and an overall lack of effort from banks etc. for this. Indian banks and institutions are among the least secure financial institutions across the world. The majority of banks here still use Windows XP in their ATMs. Windows XP is nearly 15-year-old operating system, which doesn't even get security patches anymore. 5. No POS machines. Unfortunately, in India, retailers are not interested in digitizing the payment system. They prefer cash to avoid tax. But unless they don't support to digitize the payment mechanism and invest in such a system, India can't go cashless.